It's my wedge. Hey man, something was on my mind. I just wanted to share it and get right to it. Basically, I just wanted to explain why African Americans or black people in America are treated by the authority in this country like, even if they're kids, treated like an adults with no honor and no respect. Why? Because we was a people who were enslaved and abused and mistreated, and you know, basically, we expect to be better than what we are nowadays. And we used to we used to punish ourselves for those amongst us who would sell out. That's where that snitch come from, but it wasn't called snitch. It was just Sambo or different names for it, but it all is the same concept. You're a sellout. And we used to be hard on the sellouts amongst us. But after doing research, I found out what the problem is. The reason we have no respect is coming from a higher power. It's not so much the people that we see here mistreating one another. We all going through the same thing. White, black, we all getting punished. But there's a power higher than us. And what happened was when we were first enslaved, we was enslaved because we was disobedient to our Lord. And this is when we knew who our Lord was, and we just didn't chose to obey him. We let the evil in us get the better part of us. Well, as time went on, God sets up things. If you don't want to obey him, if you don't want to do what's right, just like a parent, if you don't want to obey your mother and you don't want to do what's right, she's going to adopt other kids, or she's going to take people in your place, or she's going to ship you out and let somebody else raise you, which is the government now. And in our situation, we got a whole generation of people, older and younger, who have been kicked out by our ancestors. And our ancestors were Muslim, and very few of us know about Islam in detail. We hear about the Farrakhan situation and all these other black Muslims and white Muslims and Arabs and this and that, but we don't know what Islam really is and how much it's our birthright above any of these cultures that we see. A race doesn't make it. We need to learn our own, where we came from, and we have to apply that. Now we talk about reparations and things like that. It might be that time for us to get it, because it's in consideration. And it ain't because of us, because we still like butterfly or like moth scattered about, and we're weak as the foam on the ocean. We're plentiful like the foam on the ocean, but we just break apart. That's the black culture. So, until we find out who our Lord was and get back our religion, we're going to be in trouble. So for those people who get mistreated and abused nowadays after 2019, you don't get as much sympathy as you used to when we were more lost. But a lot of African Americans, a lot of blacks are waking up to the fact that Allah is their God and Islam is their religion, and that's where we came from. And since a lot of people waking up, so when we see something on the news about some black got beat up, or some black kids got abused by some grown white men, or some black man tried to defend his wife and shot a white man, now he's doing life in prison. These type of things we don't come together and support each other on, because we're disgraced. We're disgraced by one another, because we know some of us are learning more than others who is our Lord. And the ones who still reject it, you got people who was given this God, a white man, a Jew white man, who had all the money and all the power in the world, Jews and white men. So the Jew white man together, united, and they came up with a God, and they called him Jesus. And they made this God, put him in a book, and made our forefathers worship him. Didn't make him, but a lot of us rejected and a lot of us rebelled, you know. And God's punishment to people who disobey him in the first place was to allow these other people to adopt him. And that's what's happened. Black people are adopted in right now, and you know, we're not in the same type of slavery as we was, but we don't have any respect now. Even though we're growing up and we're learning, we're still lacking that dignity and that respect. And we're not going to get it until we find out who is our Lord. Bismillah.